We are back for our top 3 player rankings. We did the East. Now we're on the West side. NFC West. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of A Bird's Eye View. I needed to get it together, bro. Ernie B, that was a struggle to get this thing going. But we are here, NFC West, for another player ranking breakdowns. We don't care about positions. We're just telling you the best players of who we feel are the best players. And I'm looking at it because I'm the player. He's looking at it because he's the GM, Ernie B. What's up, my man? Man, that was a struggle, bro. I ain't never struggled like that to get the show popping. Jesus.
You're just a little nervous, man. You're just a little nervous. It's all right.
Me?
We've had these varying opinions, and we got the we got the West coming up. It's this one was a lot more complicated than the last two.
I thought this one was easier.
I just feel all right. Well, this is again where we think we're going to think on the same page, and it's just going to be
No. I mean, that's the point. That's the point of it. I don't think we're ever going to be on it. Well, no, I won't say that. Once we talk Eagles talk, we'll get same page. But let's start it off, man, into the retirement capital of the world where they play golf all day, Arizona. I feel like Arizona is pretty easy. They kind of cut and dry. They don't have a lot of big names. Number one on everybody's list should be Marv. Should be Marv. I don't see how it can't be Marv. I'm a Kyle Murray fan. Kyler, I'm sorry. But it's got to be Marv. Generation talent. Probably what? Best. I don't know. That's tough because Chase was there. What do you rank him as the receiver as like coming out of the draft in the last decade?
Julio, Chase.
Yeah, I was about to say there's some names in the last decade, right?
Yeah.
Jefferson.
He's in that freak of nature category where, certain teams, if he were to start to fall, would have moved mountains to go up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a wide receiver robot. I mean, that's just the dude is just built, and mentally too. I mean, he's extremely driven. But no, I actually have Kyler Murray as my number one player. Marv's 2.
You think Murray's better than Hart? I mean, obviously we're looking at.
The question is not that. The question is most important to the team. Who are the most important players on the team? And Kyler Murray can't throw the ball to him. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. cannot throw the ball to himself. So he could be wide open every play, but if Zach Wilson's throwing you the ball, you don't have much going for you. I mean,
how long has Murray been in the league? We're going on 4 years, 5 years?
What was he? 18, first overall pick in 18 or 19? Kyler Murray was the first overall pick in 19.
19. So we're going on his 6th year.
Yep.
6th year. When was Kyler good? First couple years? That's really it, right? Last couple years he's been hurt. He's getting banged up. Obviously his team has gotten worse.
I mean, Kyler's they don't have a lot to work with. I mean, he got hurt. I don't like to speak on a guy that got hurt. I mean, you can't, let's see how
part of the game, baby.
What's that?
It's part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Part of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. It's just right after that. It's like the same thing with Rodgers. Like Rodgers is the most important player until he shows me otherwise. If you get hurt, you can't come back. I'll always give a player a chance to come back from injury. But there's some dudes that just straight up change. I mean, look what happened to Todd Gurley. Like, which was a looming.
But Gurley was crazy though. Gurley was like a genetic thing, right? Gurley was like a freaky thing, like his knees.
Bone knee stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was different.
It was a looming issue for time, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that the Cardinals are only going to go as far as him and Marvin take them. Now, player 3 though is I got Paris Johnson Jr., another Buckeye. He's your most talented tackle, man. I mean, they've got they've got to kind of they need him to really take a step and start to be the anchor of that offensive line. They signed Jonah Williams this offseason. He's just basically on a 2-year tryout contract. Same draft as Kyler Murray, pick 11, I believe, Cincinnati. He's had injury troubles. He was a stud coming out of Alabama. So
yeah, I was about to say I remember him. He was a stud.
Yeah, but he had really bad injury problems. But again, if he can stay healthy, we'll see. But the Arizona Cardinals need Paris Johnson Jr. to develop as a premier tackle, considering the draft capital they spent on him and so on.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. I got Buddha.
Buddha.
Yeah, I got Buddha Baker as my number 3.
All right. Well, let's talk about why Buddha Baker is not in the top 4, but he's an honorable mention. Buddha Baker is playing for 0 guaranteed money this year.
So, are you saying he has no?
There's 0 guarantees. The cap savings cut. Let's see a post. Basically, they would save $15.1 million if they cut it.
So hold on, let me just take a step back. So you're saying, because remember the question is the most important players to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And because he has 0 contract, and I remember this conversation.
0 guaranteed salary.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 0 guaranteed.
He has a $19 million cap hit, but he has 0 guaranteed salary. So there's 0 cash allocated to him.
Right.
Nothing.
You're saying because of the cap, he's obviously he's not. I don't know what their cap. Where's their cap at? Like they can't. He's 20 million against the dead.
No. The cap doesn't. It's the cap number is not really a big deal. It's how much guaranteed money that player gets for the season, and that's how they work around the owner's cash. So,
but you said dead money, right? He's 19 against the cap.
No, if they cut him, his guaranteed salary this year is $0. His cap number, and this is according to Over the Cap. So there's going to be discrepancies and little nuances that we don't have access to. Cap number of $19.025 million. That's 7.1% of their total salary cap. Now the dead money and cap savings, if they were to cut or trade the player, would be 3.925 in dead money, and then 15.1 million in savings.
I thought it was 19 against in dead money.
No.
Okay.
But Buddha, I think Buddha is a possible trade candidate. That's why I just kind of have him in a little bit of a gray area. He could play out the year. He's set to become an unrestricted free agent next offseason. He's 28. He's a good football player, man. He's just stuck in a bad place, and if they're willing to give him some money, then he's gonna keep doing what he does. I kind of want to see how he handles this season.
You could convince me about Paris Johnson a little bit there, being on the list just because they need him as if you're talking about important pieces to the pie because he's your left tackle. But when I look at this defense, I mean, Buddha to me is still the leader of this defense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So to me, Buddha belongs on this list because of the veteran presence. I mean, he's been here his whole career, right? He was drafted by he was drafted by them. Yeah, he was drafted by them second round, if I'm not mistaken, a while ago. He's been in the league for a little bit. So still got some juice in the tank. I think, like you said, unfortunately on a bad team. So that's hard to play for. But without a doubt, to me, if he's on the field, he's the most important player on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I'd say so. I just, from the front office perspective and what we have invested in the player, like someone comes a knocking looking for a safety come training camp, and they may or may not have a decent pick to offer, then
until we trade him, he's lining up.
No, they could extend the player. There's always that too.
Yeah, there's always that
player. So it's going to be kind of curious. He's not a wide receiver right now amidst all the nonsense, which we obviously have to touch at some point in the show. But yeah, I just think that it's kind of a not really talked about thing because he's a really good player on a bad football team.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an interesting note. If there's anything to take away from Arizona, is they've got some positivity and youth, and then they've got a guy in Buda Baker who they've kind of got to decide how much money they want to have invested into a safety.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, they overachieved, I think, a little bit defensively last year.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of a Gannon thing, scheme thing. And Gannon will learn his players. I'm interested in your number 4 because I want to scratch off what I already have. Let me ask you this: offense or defense for your number 4?
Offense.
That's got to be McBride.
What's that?
Is it McBride?
No, it's.
Oh, really?
No, it's Jonah Williams.
It's Jonah Williams.
Yeah, they gave him a lot of money. Excuse me if I may have said he was an honorable mention earlier. I don't think he was. Him and Buddha I was kind of going back and forth, and then I started looking at the money and what they kind of need Jonah to be. They invested in him, so it's from the front office perspective. We need a lot out of this player. Like, we think he's going to stay healthy, and we think he's going to give us 15, 16 games. You know what I mean?
Did they really give him a lot of money? Was it like 50? I think I was looking at his contract, 50, 60 million or something like that.
I don't know exactly how they structured it, the guaranteed, but he signed is a 2-year, $30 million with 21.5 guaranteed, 19 of which is fully guaranteed at signing. And basically, if he's on the roster on the 5th day of the 2025 league year, Williams will earn an additional $2.5 million in guarantees, along with a $1.5 million roster bonus. Just what that's saying is that he costs $4 million to them if he works out and he stays healthy for the team.
Yeah, I'm not on you on that one.
They don't have a lot, man. I mean, you could put.
Yeah, they don't.
You could put James Conner there if you wanted to put like.
He's washed.
I mean, he's
good. He's a utility guy.
RB2 in a 12-man.
I thought McBride was there, but then I was like, by just default, he had so much usage last year because they didn't have anybody to throw to last year. But I mean, he still showed up.
Defensive player they need a lot out of this year is Zaven Collins. They picked him pretty high, the linebacker out of Tulsa.
Yeah,
he's got size to him. Kind of trying to just.
Yeah, I mean, and Darius Robinson too. I think.
I like Max Melton out of Rutgers, the corner.
I was going to say Max Melton, but those are all kind of honorable mentions. I think. They're
not building blocks. Like you got to have.
No, they're building blocks. Max and
Darius.
They're
building blocks. I'm saying not in our top 4. Like they're not.
Oh no.
You have to really earn your way into that core 4, and sometimes it's just by being in the league for a long time.
Yeah, and I don't even know what's his last name. I'll butcher it. BJ Ojolari.
Ojolari.
Yeah, Ojolari.
He
was productive, right? But I don't know much about him.
Can't remember if it's between him and Aziz, but it's Aziz Ojolari and BJ Ojolari, and I can't remember which one got hurt.
Yeah. So, but like you said, we don't want to spend too much time on them because they really don't have a lot to talk about so much. But it'll be interesting how how Murray comes back here. He finished the year strong last year. They showed some fight, even though. Was it Hard Knocks? Maybe. Was it? Did the Cardinals do Hard Knocks last year?
Dude, there's too many of them nowadays, man. I can't.
Yeah, I forget. But the scene coming out of that film room when Gannon came up there, and how they portrayed Gannon being this nut job. But I think those guys played for him. I really do.
He's a player's coach, man. They gravitate to his energy. There's that, and
it's weird energy. It's weird energy, but they gravitate to it.
It is weird. It's very gladiator-esque, like kind of like come the fuck on, like he's got that, but he doesn't act like that. He gives that too cool for school, but then if you actually see him in action, you're like, all right, that dude.
Kind of Campbell-esque, kind of that Campbell.
Yeah,
gritty.
He's just really, I don't know. Philly was a weird place that it's like I don't know why. There's like such a split love and hate for him. Like there's as a fan, Gannon, yeah.
Yeah, of course, because he was tampering, right? He was getting ready for the.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to dive too deep into that. I'm just saying, like, it's just funny because his personality. You know what I mean? Like he's got the yell, the rah rah. Like you would think, like We praise Buddy
Yeah.
Ryan and stuff. Jim Johnson.
You
It's
bring
like,
that video of him driving down, was that the NFC Championship?
in the
He's like,
G-Wagon. In the
G-Wagon. Can't wait to
These
gut these
motherfuckers.
guys. he was a winner then, and the next thing you know,
he's a psycho, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I like it. I don't care.
I love it. All right. Next is one of the premier teams who pretty much brought their Super Bowl, and now they're paying the cost for it, is the Los Angeles Rams. They had the old GOAT, well, kind of young GOAT, I guess, in Aaron Donald retire, but this team is still well put together. Their front office is probably first class. And one of those
McVay. I mean,
McVay.
Stafford. I mean, they've just got they've got the pieces, man.
Yeah, they got the pieces.
Quarterback is off the top of your head.
Say that again.
Do you know who their backup quarterback is off the top of your head?
Garoppolo, right? Jimmy.
Yeah, how about that? That's an underrated signing there. I mean, I think
and Stinson's there too.
Well, I don't know if he's back with the team yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he left last year, remember, in the preseason. He's got some excuse me. He's got some issues.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good fit for Jimmy. I mean, he'll never play until Stafford retires.
Well, I hope Matt doesn't get hurt, but
yeah.
I mean, that's if not the premier backup, that's a premier backup.
Yeah, it's a great fit for Jimmy for sure.
Who's your? Are we gonna agree on number one?
I mean, I'm biased, maybe a little bit, but
he's your guy, dude. But I've got him number one.
Stafford's my guy.
Yeah, I know he is. I know.
Yeah, Stafford's my guy. I'm a huge Stafford fan. You know, I think he's not the most talented, but there's not a quarterback who's more talented than him in the league. I think you can put him nose to nose with anybody in the league. You know what I mean? In terms of talent.
He was doing, Mahomes stuff before Mahomes was. That's for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't get looked at it maybe because he was buried in Detroit so much. And, he just had Megatron, so that's why he was getting thrown for 5,000 yards every year. People don't understand how probably maybe one of the toughest quarterbacks in the last, decade to lace him up. Yeah, I mean, he's that old football player, gunslinger that you want. He'll tape it up, wrap it up, and just put him out there, and he'll continue to perform at a high level. And yeah, no, I'm a big Stafford fan. I'm a really big Stafford fan. It's just if it'd be hard for me not to pick him to start a franchise with. You know what I mean?
If I can get him young,
I agree. But he's nasty still now, man. He's still nasty.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he does things. He does things that are just ridiculous. I mean, he's still got some time left.
Yeah, he's still got some juice left.
His body, man, just is not. I mean, like you said, he's so tough because he's one of those dudes where it's like he's gonna be feeling it after football, man. Like he loves this game. I mean, he loves this game.
Well, he's gonna be. I know he was feeling it after this week with his wife. Jesus Christ, what was she thinking? What was she thinking? There was a lose-lose. Nobody won in that conversation. Yeah, if you guys don't know, real quick, we don't want to get deep down into it because we're talking football and numbers. But Stafford's wife, you can find a link somewhere. Just look up Max Stafford's wife talking about some woman's podcast talking about back in their college days and how she got him mad. And I'll just leave it at that. But it's just like nobody won in that. And that's something that could affect him, I think, because that's going to be the topic of conversation for him. As soon as he comes back, as soon as he gets in front of a mic, as soon as he gets in front of a TV, they're going to all ask him, well, what happened with your wife and all that. You know what I mean? That's going to be a considerable thing. She's going to get that treatment. I mean, even the kids.
I would have did to Tom.
Yeah, wait till football season comes around. But I digress. I think we both agree Stafford is 1.
Yeah.
2. What you got? Cooper Kupp. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I told you these were easy. I think these are easy.
The Rams are pretty. Now, quick question. Is this
my favorite Cooper Kupp?
Is this the only top duo with 2 white guys in the entire league?
In terms of receiver and
No, the 2 best players on the team
oh,
or most important players on the team.
the two. That's a great question.
Because dude, 3 you could make an argument for Puka.
Oh yeah, no,
He's not
have,
like that, but you know what I'm saying right here. Like
yeah,
they're kind of in a little bit of an anomaly right now.
I think they are. I think I'm trying to think of another. Yeah, because no, maybe you could maybe
You could argue
maybe
San Fran.
San Fran.
You could
I was gonna
argue
say maybe
San
San
Fran
Fran.
actually.
If you're
Yeah.
a Brock guy, if you believe in the hype,
Or Nick.
or who?
Nick and McCaffrey.
Nick and McCaffrey.
Nick Bosa.
Oh, Bosa.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another little pair. There.
Nah, I'm not a Bosa fan, believe it or not, and I love D lineman.
We're not gonna. Oh god.
Yeah, we can't wait. San Fran is coming.
All right.
San Fran is coming. Mr. Ayuk is coming. So just
I'm gonna tell
guys,
you. I'm gonna tell you this thing about this roster is.
Offense is legit still.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of. Their offensive line's got some question marks. Injury, just performance compared to pay. They need Jared Verse to be a lot. I mean, not having Aaron Donald, they got Braden Fisk. Byron
Underrated
Young.
move too.
What's that?
He's an underrated move. I don't know how. I mean, he's a bowling ball. He's a good player, Fisk.
Yeah, but you know how it is, man. I mean, being a young guy, a young interior D lineman in the NFL is almost impossible to make a name for yourself until like year 3. I mean, even Aaron Donald, like it's hard to have production in the trenches because for both sides of the ball. I mean, offensive line and defensive line.
Well, they're going to be easier to defend because Donald is not the center of attention.
That's kind of what I'm saying. So I wonder if a guy like Byron Young, who led all rookies in sacks last year, is able to, kind of get anywhere close to that kind of production.
Yeah, and then and it's funny you say his name because I got his counterpart in Kobe Turner. Did Kobe Turner get the Aaron Donald effect, right? Because Aaron Donald was getting double and triple and left him single-handed. Does he still have that same, production that he did last year? So we already, Stafford 1, Cooper 2. I have Puka as 3, but I don't know if you went defensively. It sounds like you might have went Verse for 3.
Nah, I'm gonna go Puka, and I'm gonna go Verse 4.
So I have Kobe 4.
Yeah, Kobe's. I mean, he had a really good year, man. I mean,
yeah,
I just think Verse slipped a little bit. I like his scheme fit. I think they're gonna move him around a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe kick him inside every now and then. I know he's not big, very big, but just kind of move him around, kind of like how BG was moved around early on. Just play him, just get him on the field. And I think that they can just get him on the field, let him get some reps. I mean, you know that you were talking about Braden Fisk. I mean, you know versus size, man. I mean, this dude's built like he's built like an old school defensive end. He doesn't look like these long, lanky guys now where they're like 6'5", 260. Like, dude, this dude is.
You talking about Fisk?
No, Verse.
Oh, Verse.
Yeah.
Verse is. I felt like he played bigger than what they're having his size and weight is.
Yeah, he's just he's a compact, more of a compact build. More choppy. It's not very long and fluid. Like.
Yeah, and I thought he was a hand in the dirt guy. I didn't think he was. I don't feel like they have him at outside linebacker, in their 3-4 scheme.
Well, but that's the thing is I kind of want to see where they play him. I don't. Byron Young did it though, so I mean they did unique looks when he was at Tennessee. So I don't know.
I say is Brian Young a little bit more fluid as a. Because I remember from Brian, I remember he flashed.
I mean, in the Eagles game, he had a good game.
Yeah, I felt like he flashed.
I mean, they've got some they've got some things they've got to overcome roster wise, but I think kind of like you said, they've got so much talent on offense.
In a tough division too.
Another name we could mention here would be Kyron Williams as an honorable mention.
Yeah, but who's the better running back, him or Corum? And that's why I didn't say Williams, because I felt like
Kyron's the better player. I mean, dude, his production so far, I'm just saying health is a concern, but his production when he played was ridiculous.
No, he was.
It was pretty good.
And they kind of, I guess I feel like Williams is a little bit. He's a little bit thicker. Pause. But I feel like Corum like is his low center.
Corum's dude. That dude.
Yeah, Corum's season 2 a little bit. So
there's a 70-year-old former running backs who's sitting there watching like that right there, that boy right there. That's what you need to look like. That boy right there. You get low on him. You get real low. Right.
Low center of gravity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like
pre-trunk thighs. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they're built kind of the same. You kind of get the same look.
Boston Scott's there.
He is. He's going to be a great. No, Boston 215. You know what I mean?
Boston's got away more than that.
You think Boston weighs more than 215? You think Boston's not
like
5'8"?
He's like 5'6".
Yeah, Boston's like
he could look like he's 215. He's 195.
Yeah, right. Their running back room is interesting because they're all very, very similar.
Pretty loaded.
Yeah, Boston's probably the most explosive out of the three, though. Corum's might be the fastest.
Corum might be the most explosive.
I don't know.
Corum had some.
He's got great breakaway speed, but I mean, just choppy, small. Spaces.
Corum's got some of the shiftiest feet. He was the shiftiest running back coming out of the class, as far as.
I'm just talking about on the team, like feet wise. Boston, I don't know, bro. Boston is sick.
He's got little.
And then he learned from Sproles. Don't forget, you know what I mean. Don't doubt that.
He's got little. I mean, trust me, he's got a little balance. He's got good feet, but I mean, he's not like. You can't talk about like it's not like he's like Ramondre Stevenson where you're like a big body but you float when you run. Like he's got this.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying
like that. Like he doesn't have like
Boston's quicker than he is fast.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But I think that Corum's shiftier. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean because his contact balance is probably better, right? Because
his contact balance is better because where Scott does that little spin move in space. Corum simply hits you with a side-to-side juke, Yeah. Like when that player's on him, and sometimes Scott would fumble because he always did that stupid little and it's you see Corum. Now again, this is college. Okay, we have not seen him do it in the NFL. Right. And I have seen Boston Scott make cuts.
Then let's not get it towards Corum's the better running back. We're just breaking down the trade. You know what I mean? Breaking down the trade.
But Kyron Williams is still the guy right now. But he does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. He was a beast last year.
And they got Corum at a good value too. So
yeah. No, they did. It's a good fit for him too.
Any other honorable mentions you want to? Hey, I got one for you. Cameron Curl, former Commander safety.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
Was a former 7th round pick out of where did he go to college? Arkansas. 6'2", 198. He's a very, very underrated safety. He's a player that the tape nerds are very well aware of, and that was an underrated signing by the Rams. They traded out. I can see his face right now. I think he went to the Panthers. Lost that name at the wrong time, but it'll come back to me. But yeah, Cam Curl, Jordan Fuller is who I was thinking of. Jordan Fuller is a safety out of Ohio State that was playing for the Rams. But yeah, man, Cam Curl's just a name. Like he's a really good just a really good all around safety. Yeah.
I'm not because their defense is like you said, their defense is doing their turnover at this point.
Trey White's there too.
Bill. But he's He's past his prime at this point.
Well, he's coming off a blown up knee and Achilles, I think, back to back.
Yeah, that's even worse. But I mean, they did a nice turnover on the front, even with Donald
drafted well, even though
Yeah.
they've had their limited picks. They've hit on a lot of picks. So
yeah, I agree. All right, we're at the halfway point. In 32 minutes, and 2 minutes of me was bullshitting and botching the intro anyway. So we're right on point. Make sure you got here. Make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that follow button on all social media platforms. We are a growing brand, exploding brand in terms of what we do and what we bring to the table in terms of our football IQ, how we navigate, how we talk to each other, and then how we obviously engage with you guys who watch us daily. Right now it's a dead period for betting, but make sure you go check out Money Pot. I'm still posting our educational videos about how to become a successful gambler and use it as a side hustle. So make sure you guys go check that out. All right. San Fran has a dilemma. Mr. Ayuk does not want. Oh no, not Mr. Ayuk doesn't want to be there. It sounds like San Fran don't want him there.
That's why I'm like, when you talk about social media and shit, it's a quarterback right there. I'm thinking about what I could do with him. I'm thinking about if the Niners don't want me to come back to play with them, I'm thinking about what I could do. I know what I could do. Yeah.
So we don't know what side of the story it is. Let's play a little game real quick. I'm gonna toss you out here, Ernie B. You are Mr. Lynch right now. Put your GM hat on as you typically do. Why don't you want Brandon Ayuk back? Brandon. Is it Brandon? It's not Brandon.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. Why don't you want Brandon Ayuk back?
Well, it's not that we don't want Brandon back as a part of our organization. It's just that we as a team had to move forward on our time. And Brandon and even Debo have their own times that they're on. And we showed that we're more than willing to pay our own guys. We just paid Christian more than handsomely at an age where a lot of running backs aren't getting big extensions like that. We're willing to take advantage of our quarterback on a cheap rookie contract, point blank period. And you're either with it or you're against it. But, we'll be more than happy to ship you off to, whoever's the highest bidder. I mean, I think at this point it can get nasty if it needs to. It's no hard feelings.
And me being the player, putting my IU hat on and saying that I feel like I'm the best receiver on the team. I proved that last year, and I'm the most reliable running back receiver on the team. And if you think by bringing in a Ricky, it's going to get you to the promised land, he's not. Just because he can do a ladder drill really fast doesn't make him better than myself. I'm one of the best route runners in this league, and I am severely underpaid for the production that I'm putting out at the moment. I'm not even in the top 20 being paid. And my guy, Jalen Daniels, is going to look those numbers up for me to make sure I'm telling the truth. But I don't think I am a top 20 paid receiver in this league. And I value myself as a top end one of the top best young receivers coming up in this league at the moment. So pay me or suffer the consequences of not getting yourself back to the Super Bowl without me. Number one player for San Francisco, easy. Run CMC. Done. Don't need to say anything else about him. Number two gets interesting. What you got? He looked at me like I was a.
We're gonna flip flop him again. Number one for me is Trent Williams.
Whoa, my God! Come on, no. If I could push the screen aside and just mush your face. No.
Why do you hate offensive linemen?
I don't hate offensive linemen.
You dude, like you want?
Are you serious?
How is he running without him?
He's not the most important person on this team. Are you serious?
How
You
are
put
the Eagles?
Trent
How are the
Williams
Eagles without
over
Lane Johnson? What's the Eagles'
CMC?
record without Lane Johnson?
I have no idea. But
Really shitty.
we haven't had
Really
a running
shitty.
back like CMC.
CMC.
What? CMC what? What?
CMC loves Trent Williams. I know that for a fact. When big old Trent is
I
pulling,
cannot believe we
when
started
big
off
old
this one
Trent
like
is
that.
pulling and Highway 71 opens up. I mean,
Oh
dude.
my God. Did you really put Trent Williams as your number one most important player?
As of
Oh
right
man.
now, Trent Williams. Now, this is probably the last year he's at this point. We're sending Trent off into the sunset. He knows it. We know it, but for this year, he gets one last number one. And then from here on out, it'll be McCaffrey till the day he retires.
That's insane. Did you not say Christian? Didn't Christian McCaffrey had like 20-something touchdowns last year?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
he's awesome. He's number 2.
No, he's number one.
He's number 2.
There's no 1A, no 1B. There's
Who's your
1
number
and 2.
You don't even have Trent Williams in your top 4.
I have Trent Williams as number 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're not that
Yeah.
far off. Dude, Trent, big Trent.
No,
dog.
we're far off.
No, Trent, big
We're
Trent.
far off. Yo, man.
Trent,
You
man.
gotta give me this team ain't nothing without CMC. They're not the best team in the league without CMC. They could possibly be the best team without Trent. Possibly. But without CMC and that production from the running back, I know Shanahan's scheme is. But when you put ultra talent back there, that's like putting Randy, like, you know how good Randy was.
This is not a shade at Christian McCaffrey at all. This is more like.
Oh, this is shade.
This is just me just saying something.
Major shade.
He made Elijah Mitchell look pretty good. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean,
He made Elijah Mitchell look pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said Shanahan
Jordan Mason can go out there and rush.
Man, they ain't do numbers like McCaffrey though. Jesus.
All right, McCaffrey is awesome. He's the best running back in football. He could probably be a top 10 slot receiver if he wanted to be.
Yes.
But I gotta respect my trenches, dude. I gotta respect my trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Big Trent of the trenches.
All right. I guess 3 gets interesting now.
You already know where I'm going here.
Yeah, this was because their roster's so loaded. It's more difficult.
They're very.
It's more difficult. But
I'm definitely a lot of turnover. They did a lot of speckled veteran turnover that you kind of got.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure my theory is different than yours. It's definitely defense.
You're gonna say Fred Warner, and I'm saying Nick Bosa.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Fred Warner's one of my favorite linebackers, like of all time. I love Fred Warner. But
what the hell's wrong with you? Fanboy out for a little bit.
I love Fred.
3.
Dude, yeah. Fred Warner is like the pause, whatever you want. That motherfucker is fucking. That dude is fucking awesome. Like that dude. Like, do you remember back in the day when Luke Kuechly played for the Panthers? And
play him,
sure.
I was a big Luke.
You just sit there, you just be like, God, I hate that son of a bitch so bad. And it's like he's on your team, and you're just like, this guy's the greatest human being to ever grace our football field. Like,
yeah,
dude, just
I love Fred. Yeah,
I just think, dude, but
I think Bosa's overrated.
They're a family of douchebags, man. Like they're just.
I think he's better than his brother, but I don't think he is as. I mean, he is really good. Is he a top 5 defensive end? Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is
he's on the same level as Max Crosby, and I know you like Max Crosby.
I love Max. Max is my guy. Yeah, Max is my guy. Max is my guy.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. But I would think people have Bosa is like some people have Bosa as like number 1 though, like the best pass rusher. You know what I mean?
He's
like I think wasn't he 3 in the NFL top 100 list last year? I think it was 3.
That's just Hurts was like 2 to. That's just all.
I'm just saying the perception.
You know, there's some dudes like, dude, if I was like the 53rd man on that team, I'd be putting myself 1. Like I'd be like, yep, this is my time to shine. Like, it wouldn't care. Like I've just heard a lot of reporters say that the players don't take those very seriously. Like they've seen him handed out in the locker room, and they just sit there. And just,
Oh yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I just Bosa, what he does for the team, man, like off the edge. Now they're finally without Eric Armstead, so
Yeah.
he's in Jacksonville now.
But I mean, that's not going to affect Bosa though. He's off the edge.
Yeah, I know. It's just
he was a big piece though. He was a big piece. Didn't he go to? He was in the Colts for a little bit, wasn't he?
Who?
No, that was who was that? Was that Forrester,
DeForest Buckner went to the Colts. He was traded to the Colts, I think.
Yeah, I get those two mixed because they're same type of player, Armstead. And
they were both drafted in the same era, and they're both like over 6'6" defensive tackles.
Yeah, I was about to say, and they're both built the same.
Campbell.
Yeah. Those three, they're all kind of very similar.
And they're both light skinned, so they kind of look similar too. Like, not gonna lie, like, dude, I had the same problem. Like, for years, like, I'd sit there and I'd be like, all right, they got DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead. Which one's which? Like, all right, cool. That was back when they were like not relevant, which is so funny to think. Like, they had that one little spurt, with Harbaugh and Kaepernick, and it's like, then it was just like, yeah, whatever, Niners stink, and then it's like, oh, whoa, all right, they're back, and they're back.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy, so I don't know. I mean,
so I guess we're switched on everything, right? Because I have Bosa 4, and you guys must have Warner 4 then.
I've got Warner at 4. Yeah. So Williams, McCaffrey, Bosa, Warner.
Yeah, and I have McCaffrey, Williams, Warner.
Honorable
Bosa.
mentions would be Hargrave and Debo.
Hargraves, yeah.
Kittle.
Yeah. It was between Bosa and Kittle, but then I was like, I gotta put Bosa on there.
Yeah, Kittle. I would put Kittle on there. It's just like,
I mean,
what his position that kind of screws him, because like,
no, without Kelsey, he's the best tight end in the league.
He's better than Travis Kelce.
No, without Kelsey, without Kelsey, if there's no Kittle's the best tight end in the league.
He's second best tight end in football. Yeah. He's like, for Eagles fans that aren't really entrenched, if Dallas Goedert reached his absolute max potential, which he never will, but like, they're the same kind of player. Like, they both block their asses off. Like,
he's
strong after the catch. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think who Goedert reminds me of a little bit.
Mark Andrews is a similar player too. He's just built much.
Yeah, he's a better route runner though. He's a better.
I think stronger too. His frame.
Yeah.
I mean, he
reminds me of a little bit, but he was still better. Damn, what's his name? It's not Jay Novacek. Who was the Dallas? Who used to kill us? The Dallas tight end. Oh, what's his name?
Witten.
Yeah.
Jason Witten.
Yeah, it reminds me of Witten a little bit.
Witten was awesome, man. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that caliber of player, right? Witten might be a Hall of Famer, but
I just think I think it's more like the style of player.
Like he plays like Witten a little bit. But Witten knew how to get down though. Goddard don't know how to fall down. He falls weird.
And that's kind of why I play style too, because he hittles all the time too, because they're ruthless with their bodies. Like, they're very violent players. Like, stiff arms without caring about where the arm's located. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to take a guy that is bigger than you, like the linebacker's hanging on you, and you're trying to throw him off like he's a corner. Like, they just, I don't know, that style of tight end is it's still, that flame is still going in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. You already said Hargraves. I know. I'm trying to think who else was there that I kind of want to do an honorable mention. And then I think Ayuk. I really think Ayuk really was if he's still there, obviously.
Yeah,
he's obviously super important to what they do.
Yeah, I mean,
Debo gets hurt a lot. The way they use him, Debo's tough, but
Debo.
He's only played what? Let me bring up his numbers. Yeah, he's only played 16 games once in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that play style. Ayuk is a really talented wide receiver. I mean, it would be bad for him to get traded to Washington, for Eagles fans that are rooting for him from San Fran.
Not this year, maybe 2 years from now. It
just wouldn't be good for us. We can't cover Terry to save our lives, so now you're going to throw over that and Jahan Dotson. That'd be a pretty solid receiver room. Yeah,
it would be. It'd be dangerous for sure. All right, we did better with. That's funny that we were completely flip flopped on San Fran. That's kind of funny that worked out like that. All right, let's finish off with the 12, Seattle. I think number 4 for both of us is going to be interesting. I want to see where you are at number 4. Number 1, it's got to be Spoon. I don't know how you don't go anywhere without Spoon. I mean, you could try to talk me into Gino, but he said he had such a fall off last year.
It wouldn't be Gino.
Who you got one then? If it ain't Spoon, sound like you don't want to say it.
Well, Charles Cross is up there, and he's performed pretty well. Like he's been pretty good since he took over that job. But they spent money on Draymond Jones to kind of have him be that interior pass rusher, and he wasn't that. Dude, I don't know why, but the consistency and just always doing what he's supposed to do. Tyler Lockett.
Interesting.
But he's not
on my list.
But he's not the most important player. But I'm gonna go a little sideways here. I'm gonna go Tyler Lockett might be the most important player on the Seattle Seahawks.
Argument for that. It's tough to argue that.
I mean, just you got to think like through the ups and downs. He's been there when they were good. He's been there when they were
consistent.
And he's just consistent, dude. Like he just puts up numbers. Like doesn't matter who the quarterback is. The dude catches the ball, and he's multiple highlights. He's due for multiple highlights a year.
You could talk me in the Lockett. I have Lockett on the list. I just don't have him as 1. But yeah, you could talk me in Lockett being 1. I mean, because the veteran leadership, everything.
I mean, on and off the field. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the guy in the locker room. Like, if Gino's not speaking, I would hope Tyler's the one speaking up, you know?
Yeah. If he's that type of leader, too.
Yeah, if he's a vocal leader. I don't know anything about him like that. But that's just kind of – I look at him and I just go, that's –
But he could be one of those example leaders. You just – you know what I mean? Just leads. Yeah. Just leads by example. But he is now what Wagner became in Seattle.
Well, yeah, when Wagner was there, that was the
obviously, but I mean he's the stay. Yeah. He's the mainstay.
He's been through it for him. I just like he's like I
like that pick actually.
I just kind of, I don't want to go with the typical Gino, and I don't think Cross is there yet as a player. Like I really like Charles Cross.
Yeah,
I really like Charles Cross, but I just don't think he's there as like this guy is our foundational left tackle. Like the Cardinals have no choice but to hope that Paris Johnson becomes that.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are kind of, we're still kind of feisty, so
No, I completely agree with that. I looked at Cross and I was like, he's filled the position, just haven't filled the shoes.
Yeah, but he's had really good reps, man. I mean, Cross has had he's had really good reps. He's kind of in a loaded tackle class, which I know everyone uses that argument for young tackles, but I made this statement earlier. It takes a few years of development to see really what a player can do.
He's steady right now. He's steady. Completely steady. Completely steady. What do you got? So I'm going to cross off Spoon at 1 and put Lockett there at 2. I mean, put Lockett there at 1, move Spoon to 2. But I have a feeling your 2 is going to be different than Spoon.
No, because I think Spoon is the Lockett of the defense.
Okay.
And I really like McDonald. I think that they're going to find ways to use Devin Witherspoon all over the field. You got Tariq Woolen. You got an outside corner there with speed. Woolen's kind of got to tighten up a little bit as a player. He's got to grow up a little bit. That was kind of part of the reason why he fell, even though he ran, what he ran at the size that he is. I mean, he's running DK Metcalf speed without the DK Metcalf muscle, but at the same height.
Yeah, he's 6'4", right?
Yeah, I think Woolen's 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Spoon's going to kind of be it's kind of their foundational building block, which is not the way that I would do it or was taught to do it. It'd be an interior defensive lineman or a pass rusher or a linebacker, or well, it wouldn't be a linebacker. I can tell you that. I'm lying. It would be it would usually be a defensive lineman or a pass rusher. So, I think with Witherspoon, Lockett, Spoon, and I say that those are my building blocks, or those are my kind of my temples,
Yep.
on offense and defense. That's who I can go to. I'm happy if I'm a young coach.
Number 3, I got Williams.
Leonard,
yeah, I got Leonard Williams.
I've got Cross here.
Okay. Same concept though.
Same exact concept. It's the same exact concept.
Yeah, same concept. But Leonard is proven. Leonard's proven. He's proven.
He is, but he kind of falls under that Draymond Jones thing where they did not produce they did not give back what the team spent on them, whether it was the trade for Leonard Williams or whether it's the money that Draymond Jones got. It's a scheme difference. Now we have you got a whole new regime coming in, so they're going to move some things around. They just don't. I mean, God, man, the more and more I look at this, though, I mean, Spoon, I guess if Spoon wasn't here, you could have Woolen as your number 1 corner, but, we just spoke on him and some character stuff. But, man, if this team had Jalen Carter, they would just have
oh, shit.
They would really have that, just that kind of – but the entire team would be on his shoulders, and I don't think that he's the type of player that is necessarily built for that.
He would be in he would be in a great position with this team. He was a good fit. He'd be a good fit for them too. Him and Williams as bookend inside 3-4 ends, man. That would have been nasty.
Or him and Draymond and Leonard kind of moving inside.
Yeah, that would have been nasty. So my actual list was Spoon, Williams, Lockett, but I like Lockett going to the top there, and Julian Love.
I like Julian Love.
Had a hell of a year last year. Had a breakout year. Well, not really, because he was a good player with the Giants for a couple of years there too as well. So they couldn't pay him, so he went off to Seattle and continued on with the same success that he had and just built off that year. That year, I don't think anybody has more tackles than him in the last 2 years. Huh?
Did he pick off Jalen twice last year in one game?
He might have.
I think it was twice in that loss to Seattle.
I don't know.
I've got a unique 4.
Okay.
You want to say yours first, or you?
It was Love.
Oh, it was Julian Love. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It was Julian Love.
Mine's Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I'm glad you didn't go with who most people would have thought you might have went with.
Which one? Our name Cross.
Why was his name? DK.
Oh, no.
He's he's overrated too.
Well, he's kind of I like DK, and
I like DK too.
Not like DK you'll ever see this, but you get a little emotional on the field, man. And at that size, it's just
Yeah, that size, that much speed.
You can maul any man. Just please, you don't have to go jawing and shoving and throwing into people's faces. I mean,
yeah, and then he wears his pacifier as a mouth guard, like too much. I mean, it's all about the look.
Yeah, what I was getting at though with Jigba though is Jigba needs to be Lockett for this team moving forward. They kind of need that change of. They need the passing of the torch. They need it. Because the entire weight of the offense can't go through DK Metcalf, and they know it.
No, I can't.
So, with Kenneth Walker, you could talk about. But I just don't really think. I mean, I think they're going to use him, but I just think they're going to run the wheels off of him before they really,
yeah,
kind of move into a more hey, we're going to try to really dominate. Or not dominate, but we're just going to really go for a run here, maybe a deep playoff run. I just don't think that they see him as a foundational building block. And I could be wrong. I just kind of think they see him as a really good running back they're going to run the tires off of.
Well, I mean, they got Zach. How do you say his last name?
Charbonnet.
Chardonnay.
Yeah,
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
Yeah,
Charbonnet. It's like a fancy wine, basically.
Yeah. Charbonnet. Yeah. I just it didn't. I looked at it and I was like, I know that's not how you say his name. I know it's fancy. But I mean, when you look at this roster, I mean, and then playing in the 12, they can make a little bit of noise. Obviously, they're not the best team in this division, but they could be the second best team in this division. And
I find continuity being the reason that the Rams, even though they had a lot of change too. I just think coaching continuity is gonna propel the Rams into that position of Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. That's the way this division kind of falls. If I was the Seahawks GM, I'd be happy about where we're at, but I'd be a little concerned about the age gap in the trenches. I've got two guys kind of cruising past their prime on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I've got unproven pass rushers, one that's been drafted in a later round, and then one that's been picked up in free agency. We've got a lot of DB talent, but they've got scattered talent.
Well, I'm concerned about my quarterback room. Really?
Yeah, I think that Howell's a good bridge if they need him to be. I think that he can kind of just go out there and do what he needs to do. I mean, he looked like Brett Favre when he played the Eagles, so he was our defense.
That was the Eagles, though.
But
I just think when you like the drop off for Geno, he had the one magical year, and just that drop off is is eye opening, and I get it running back with him. Again, there were some injuries there with people, and you got better. I think they drafted pretty well, right? If I'm not mistaken. Brian Murphy.
They tend to draft.
They do draft, pretty well. I'm trying to think. I think AJ Barner's
a big name that I forgot about to mention off the edge. And I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. I don't know why I said Darrell Taylor over him because he's not starting. Boye Mafe, edge rusher out of Minnesota. Boye Mafe is he's a very twitchy, kind of freakish pass rusher. Mafe is a name that needs to be written down for fans that are kind of looking for some low-key guys to keep an eye on this year that are just going to constantly produce good tape. He's one of them.
Yeah, I saw him. I don't have any tape. I haven't really seen him.
Byron Murphy is their young defensive tackle.
Yeah, huge pick.
His first-round pick.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets much time. Reason why I didn't have him as a foundational piece was just because, like I said, I mean, he's not really a Jalen Carter. He's not really a Jordan Davis caliber player. I really like Byron Murphy, but I just don't know what kind of load of snaps he's going to be playing in year one with how their depth chart's set up with Draymond Jones and Leonard Williams sitting there.
Yeah, and like kind of I was saying, speaking with Thomas, Seattle typically drafts pretty well, and they draft guys that fit what they do. So
yeah, I mean they've got a good team, man. I mean they have good players. They're not a good football team. They have good players though. They've drafted well. I guess you could say they're good. They're good. They're gonna put up a fight to win 7 games, maybe 9.
Yeah, and then I think that's a great segue not only to next week, but also our prediction show in terms of win totals. So sure, you guys are looking out for that. Just breaking down the rosters a little bit here, and then we'll go right into the win totals. And next thing you know, the season will be jumping off. Dead period as of right now, so just filling the gaps here and breaking down these teams and seeing how we can bet these teams moving forward. This is the prelude to what the main course is coming in terms of our football season starting to gear up here. So with that said, next week I know I messed up so many times about NFC North, but I think we got to switch to the other side, right? AFC West.
Yep.
It's coming next week. Yep.
The
So we'll do it.
back-to-back champs. We'll go over them. Your boy Max Crosby we get to talk about.
Yeah.
Harbaugh in LA and whatever the excuse my language fuck is happening in Denver. So
yeah, but so whatever Denver's got.
Yeah, so. They've got some fun stuff going on over there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm the player. They call me Moss Money. That's the GM, Ernie B. This is Bird's Eye View. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. This is Bird's Eye View. We will see you guys next week. See you later.